Technology is like a bad marriage that you can't get divorced. You have to kind of do the best you can with it. I think I'm better. You have to be as baby boomers. I'm not as scared of them as I was, but I still wish they were not around.
I've always loved technology. I'm an early adopter. I was the first person on my block to have a Mac in 1984. And it's just gotten deeper and more fun, and I love it.
Look, technology is a phenomenal thing, and I profit from it every day. I use my cell phone, I use my iPhone like it's a second self. I actually call it my camera. It hooks me into the entire world. It doesn't matter that I live in somewhat, the isolation of Los Angeles, which is a common problem. I am always connected in wonderful ways, and it facilitates my creativity, whether it's in filmmaking or photography. And it facilitates my exploration of the world of music, which is divine. Obviously, we all know the downsides, which is that we're trapped. We're trapped by this marvelous invention. And I think it's really, really incumbent upon us to learn how to liberate, say no, get off the grid, do touchy-feely stuff, and rejoin this incredible kind of earthy, organic world that we're imperiling as we speak.
Well, earlier you asked me something about as a 27-year-old, and when I was 27, there really wasn't any technology. I remember doing slow scan at Fashion Motor, which was sending a picture over the phone line, and it would come across like one line at a time until the whole picture still frame, right? And as an educator in the arts, I've seen technology kind of change the way people learn significantly and communicate. I think technology is a great tool. I don't think it's the be-all, end-all. In fact, a lot of the students that I have who are solely kind of connected, and everything they do is through a computer, whether it's photography or sculpture or performance, they want to take ceramics because they can get dirty. They get their hands into this material. And that's something that's missing, I think, with technology.
How have we kept up with it? I can't believe that I am in the computer world. Fortunately, I've had some young kids help me, including my own children. It is what it is. I think the computer and all the things that go along with it are great, and I don't know if I can handle any more.
Well, I've always been intrigued by technology that solves problems. What's changed over the years, and it's been more than 20 years, it's more like 40 or 45 years, is that I came to realize at a fairly young age that many of our technologies are ill-conceived and short-sighted. So many of the conveniences that we have based in technology create more problems than they solve. And that I think is why we have the climate change and the issues we have today. And unfortunately, in my estimation, there were solutions that for pecuniary reasons, for reasons of profit, we didn't pursue. And that I think is unfortunate.
I've gotten more used to it, and it's more familiar, but it's sort of a forced embracement.
I think it does a lot of good things, and I was just reading about some algorithms that may be able to pick out depression and bipolar stuff and other things where Google Maps might be able to detect where poverty is and spend more resources on where the poverty is opposed to where it isn't. So there are many things that I think that technology is good about, but on a day-to-day basis, I don't like both my dependency on it and my ignorance. I wish I understood it better, and I sort of struggle with that. I think the sort of 24/7-ness of technology, of being constantly in touch, and constantly, looking at your phone and looking at your emails and seeing on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And right now I'm involved in promoting a book I wrote. And, it's overwhelming, and I kind of look forward to a moment where I won't be so much involved in that, because I think it can take over your life a little bit.
I'm both a really early adapter and a really late adapter. So, for example, I had one of the first cell phones one of the first portable cell phones in Los Angeles. They were called the Brick, and they fit sort of inside an inside pocket. For about 3 months, I mean, literally everywhere I went, I was sort of an oddity. I was a really late adapter in terms of computers. I was slow to adapt to. I was a Windows person, and it took me a while to adapt to Macs. I think that technology is pretty amazing in a lot of ways. I mean, we look at all sorts of things like Uber that wouldn't exist without smartphone technology. I think that's great. I worry a little bit about driverless cars. I worry about too much using technology to solve problems. Although certainly in the medical world, robotic surgery people really think it's becoming more accurate than the best of the surgeons.
As a photographer, I didn't like it when everything went to computers and that there was Photoshop. I had a million complaints about that, how it wasn't photography anymore and that it was fake. Now I have the computer, I've got do Photoshop, I've accepted color TV. I mean, so now my latest thing is sort of really just keeping up with social media. With technology today, the fact that everyone is so addicted to their phones and texting and Facebook and emails, the art of conversation, and that people don't pick up the phone. They just don't pick up the phone anymore, and I'm probably guilty too. Sometimes days go by and I think, oh my God, I haven't spoken to anyone, and I think that is a shame.
I've always loved technology. I've always been deeply involved in it, but I think it's important not to, overly rely on it. I think you have to imagine a life or living your life without any technology, and always be prepared to do that. So, it's really just knowing what it was like in the early days, sort of pre-technology. When we, in our generation, were growing up, we had pay phones and turntables. We had to actually put the little arm on the record and
more physically engaged.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you're really more connected to it. Now it's kind of all invisible and you don't see it. So.
Yeah, there's a sense of disreality.
Yeah. Well, that is the reality.
Yeah. The disreality is the reality.
Yeah.